today. I thought I'd do a quick vlog while I had my phone out. I was checking all my messages and getting back to a heap of people with regards to a heap of weird and wonderful things that are going on at the moment. But yeah, I have to climb up on top of the silo to get good coverage, because otherwise the phone just cuts out when I'm at this end of the property. Beautiful view from up here. I have to share it with you. Check this out. Yeah, as you can see a fair bit, and what you can see is a lot of moisture around. Obviously a lot of greenery on the fallow. All this country is all wheat. This whole block was put down to wheat, and got fairly good yields off it. That's what I first came up here to do, was to help get the crop off. Not a single inch of rain during the entire harvest, which is really weird, because it's it's the storm season. And but anyway, she rained certainly since, and it's really good solid rain since. And so the fallow is all getting a bit green. In fact, of course, the one part of your country that you don't want to stay green, because you've got to store all the moisture for the upcoming crops. This morning I had to edit a chapter going in the Australian Story, the ABC Australian Story book. And it's really weird. It got me thinking just about stuff, and yeah, I think there was, I can't remember how many hours, it was dozens and dozens of hours of footage they had for the Australian Story episode, and it was, the producer had a lot of trouble trying to think, well, how the hell do we get all of this life that's kind of been all over the shop into one episode of Australian Story. And then doing the chapter, again, that was even harder, because like, how do you put a whole life into a single chapter? And I'm trying to change things and get things so that it's all in perspective, yet at the same time accurate. And it's really hard. I mean, just, my education. I went to school just down the road here at Mooney, and then I went to Toowoomba Prep boarding school, and then I went to Corralbin International School, and then I went to Toowoomba Grammar School, and then I went to Dalby Agricultural College, then I went to Marcus Oldham Agricultural College. Just in itself fills a chapter, and just saying it, let alone what actually happened there. So I thought, shit, man, I just got to sit my ass down one of these days, and preferably not up here on top of this huge big silo, because I'd probably get off with my thoughts and then fall off. But yeah, I've got to get my ass into gear and get a book written. I did start, and had quite a few hundred pages written probably about 4 years ago, and then the shop that we had at the time, where it was all stored, backed up, and on a server, it was robbed, and so I lost it all, and never got around to writing again. So anyway, that was my little yarn for today. Is thinking, what, I should get it all written down and share it a bit more with a lot more people, because the one thing that I do get overwhelmed with is the number of people that email me with regards to these video blogs, especially. Just saying, thanks for sharing your story. I'm going through something similar, and it's so good to be able to hear it. And that's the main thing that I got out of trying to do the Australian Story thing, is that the whole reason that I've shared my life with people is so that they don't feel the way I used to feel when I was in this particular paddock, actually, that one right there. I was cultivating, and this is 2006, cultivating, and 2 days I'd been on the tractor, and all I was hearing was the same crap on every radio station, was Bob Catter's comments about no gay people living in the country, was the Anglican Church, which at that stage I was a part of, and I suppose still am. I haven't, I'm still a baptised, confirmed member of the Anglican Church, but, I used to be quite active in the Anglican Church when I was younger. Anyway, hearing all of the schism and the bullshit going on about them having problems with some parts of the communion wanting to have gay clergy, and other parts wanting to condemn homosexuality altogether, So just listening to that on the tractor, just day in, day out, and talkback callers coming in with bigotry and hateful comments and agreeing with all these shocking things that were coming out of Bob Katter's mouth. And even the hosts of the shows, even the ABC hosts, just speaking with such ignorance. I was so angry. And so I parked the tractor, didn't finish the paddock. I think it might have rained, actually. Yeah, we'll say that anyway. So I didn't finish the paddock, parked the tractor. I could not drive anymore, could not do any more. All I wanted to do was go and write myself off, go and get drunk. And so I did, drove straight to Brisbane. It was, I don't know what time it was probably about 9 o'clock at night. No, it wouldn't have been, probably about 7 o'clock at night, because it was about midnight that I got to Brisbane. And met up with a few of my mates, got absolutely hammered, and then that's the night that I decided to confront some gay bashers and say, enough's enough. And the rest is history, I suppose. And but that's kind of really where my activism started, was that paddock right there, just going, this is bullshit. Why is there so much misinformation out there? And even now, when I bring in to Talkback Radio, which I do when I'm on the tractor a fair bit, it just astounds me that people are just so shocked at just the way that the world is. They just don't get it because they don't know. And I think the more that we share our stories, the more people do know, and the less ignorance there is. This old argument of, I don't believe in marriage between two men because it will diminish my marriage. Well, no, it won't. Your marriage won't change. Your marriage is still as special as the day that you got married. All that will happen is that I'll be able to have that same specialness and that same wonderful memories of the day, but also that wonderful union that is two people coming together and spending the rest of their lives as one. That's what marriage is. It's just two people becoming one, so that when people think of me, they think of Michael. When people think of Michael, they think of me. When they think of our children, they think of us. We're all bound as one unit, really. That's what it's all about. The arguments against it, they're not wrong. They're just based on ignorance, based on not knowing how other people are or what other people are. And it really saddens me. So anyway, there I am. I better write a book, share a bit more so that people can actually see in black and white, rather than saying, did you watch that show or whatever. Put it all down, all on paper, so that people can pass the book around and maybe at the end of the book go, what, I feel a little different to when I started this book. And maybe it's because, God, the guy goes on. So I better get back to work. Better get off the silo.